Hi, good evening, friends. I'm so glad to be here once again. Today, we are going to analyze Stephan Hawking's illustration about the question, Is there God? Before we get into the discussion, let me say a few things about Hawking. His full name was Stephen William Hawking. He was born in 1942 into a family of doctors at Oxford City in England. He began his university education in 1959 at the age of his 70 and received his first BA degree in physics at Oxford University. And then he began his graduate work at Cambridge University in 1962 and obtained his PhD degree in theoretical physics specializing in cosmology in 1966. During this period, in 1963, Hawking was diagnosed with Lou Gehrig disease which gradually paralyzed him over the decades. As a result, he lost his speech and then he was able to communicate only through a generating device which initially used by with a handheld switch and eventually used by with his single cheek muscle. Hawking began his life in a wheelchair while he was 25 and continued it till his 76. He wrote many books in his life. The last book he wrote before his death was The Brief Answers to the Big Questions. He answered 10 questions in this book. The first question is there God? He answered the question with a simple illustration, and the illustration is in physics method since he got doctorate in theoretical physics, and that is when a person hit the ball with a bat towards front, he determines where the ball can go by its size, weight, direction and its energy. This is the law of nature on the gravity basis. Hawking here only keeps forth his argument. He says, tell me, when a person hit the ball with the bat towards front, but if it goes towards back instead of towards front, then I will believe there is God. This is a very logic and a simple argument, but not the perfect one to disprove the existence of God. Let me explain why it is not perfect. Briefly, in simple way with 3 arguments based on this illustration. Please follow me carefully. Let's come to the first argument, human free will. As Hawking said above, God will not let the ball go back and fall which a person hit towards front. He won't do it against the law of nature in order to prove his existence. It's not necessary for him to prove it in such a way, because if a person hit the ball with the bat either towards front or back, that's up to him. His desire, that's his will. Likewise, every man in the world is born with a willpower, and that is free will. Since man has the free will, God doesn't interfere in it. Rather, he allows him to go with that. For example, if man wills, he can become a doctor or become an engineer or become a scientist. So this free will in man in one way is witnessing God's existence. Therefore, I strongly say man can't deny that there is no God as long as the free will takes part in man's life. Let's come to the second argument, the designer behind design. As Hawking said, when a person hit the ball with the bat towards front, he determines how fast it can go by its size and weight. The size and weight of the ball indicates that the design. Likewise, the universe and everything in it is designed in size in weight, and even in colors. For example, the human beings. They are differentiated from place to place based on culture, language, and on race. So, how could this design be possible by a natural selection, as scientists say? It can't be. For example, when an engineer is needed to design every building, why shouldn't a designer be needed to design this universe? Therefore, I strongly say man can't deny that there is no God, as long as this universe exists with its design. Let's come to the third and final argument, the law determinator behind law of nature. As Hawking said, when a person hits the ball with the bat towards front, he determines the ball will go a distance by its size, weight, and its direction. This is the law of nature for the ball. Likewise, the whole universe is subjected to the law of nature. For example, the sun rises in the east and sets in the west, and every planet in galaxy focusing the sun as its center and running a long orbit. And also the earth is set up with the weather, season, and time. So now the question is, how could this universe alone create the law for itself? It can't be. For example, every nation has a constitution, and in fact it's made by men of that country. If it is true, then why shouldn't we say the author of the law of nature for this universe is God? Therefore, I strongly say man can't deny that there is no God, as long as the universe is subjected to the law of nature. Dear friends, therefore, finally I say there is God. Man can't prove or disprove the existence of God unless he revealed himself to man. But 2000 years ago, God revealed himself to man, and that is in Jesus Christ. Thank you so much for listening this study. May the good Lord bless you all. Amen.